Please subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon to get the regular updates of my channel, and do not forget to like, comment and share. Hello everyone, welcome back to SaaS with ServiceNow. This is part 2 of creating ACL in ServiceNow. In this tutorial, you will learn to create different types of ACLs in ServiceNow practically in my personal developer instance. In order to show you this demo, I will create two tables in ServiceNow, one as parent table and other as child table. I will also create a user and show you the access by impersonating the same user, that how that user can access different records, or what kind of access that user will have once I will create or delete or configure different types of ACLs in different tables we will create. This is my personal developer instance. I will start with creating these two tables first. In order to create table, I will just quickly go to here under system definition. I have these tables module, and it will open these list of tables we have in the system. I will click on new so that I can create a new table. Now first I will create the parent table. So here I will mention ACL YouTube demo tab, and we will have this name here. And I'm not going to extend this table right now. We have create module, so I will create the module, and this will be added under self-service automatically. And I will also create some fields so that we can apply different filters as well. So I will select here, let's say I will select group, and here I can select the type as reference, and I will select here reference as group table, sys underscore user underscore group. So I have this table selected. I will add another field, maybe I will add title, and here I will just mention string. That's it. And yeah, I think two fields are enough, and I will just go to controls. Now here I will make this table as extensible because I will extend this table to create child table. So I will check this box, extensible. Now here we have this option, create access controls. Now if I will check this checkbox, this will create 4 default ACLs automatically. That's a feature, out of the box feature we have in ServiceNow. And if you will select this one, you can also specify a role which will be added to those ACLs. Now it's totally up to you that how exactly you want to define, how exactly you want to create tables as per your requirement. Now if I will keep this role, this will also create a new role, because as of now this role is not available in the system. So this will also create a new role. You can see that says a new record with this value will be created automatically. Now in that case, what I will do, I will definitely create the ACL, and this role will also be created. So I will just quickly click on save, and when I will click on save, this table will be created. At the same time, those 4 ACLs which I am talking about, those will also be created. So I will just go here. Now in the related list of this table, you can see we have these 4 ACLs created, and those ACLs are for 4 different operations: create operation, read operation, write operation, and delete operation. That means if user will be performing these operations, then these 4 ACLs will be applied. Overall, these are table ACL. These are not field level ACL. These are table ACLs. And if I will open these ACLs one by one, you will see more details. So you can see we have that role mentioned here. And this is, so you can see as of now I cannot see much details. Even I cannot edit this ACL. Now this is one of the important point of ACL. In order to edit or create ACL, you should have security admin role. At the same time, you should also have elevated access for that particular session. So what I will do, I will go here. So I have admin access. So I will come here, I will click on this elevate roles, and here I have to check this checkbox security admin. Once I will do that and I will click on OK. Now this will allow me, system will allow me to edit or create ACLs. Now you will see a difference here. If I will reload the form, you will see that now a lot of fields which we have, they're not grayed out. I can definitely edit them. So you can see this is table. This is the object, like where we select. Here we have type of ACL, here we have operation, here we have admin override, and then we have object. So we have table and I have selected none here. So it is table level ACL. So this is for read. And one important thing is in this section of permission, we have requires role. That means if user will have this role, then only user will be able to read records of this table. If I go here, next one, I will reload it. And this will also allow me to edit these, like this record, like these fields. Here we have for create operation. What exactly it means? This is for if user wants to create new records, but user will be able to create new records only when user will have this role, because this role is mentioned over here. We already talked about this particular thing in our previous video, in our first video, that how exactly user gets permission. There are three sections: requires roles, conditions, and we also have advanced, where you can do scripting. If I will check this box, it will definitely open, show you the script field where I can write basically a script in JavaScript language as per the requirement you will get. But if I talk about high level, most of the time, if you want to provide access to the users via just roles, then you can just add roles over here. In that case, until and unless user will have this role, they cannot access the records, and for that particular operation as well, even for create, even for read. And we also have other two, those are write, and the fourth one is delete. That means user will not be able to delete records as well. And we also have write. That means I cannot edit the records of that particular table. So these are all table level ACLs right now. Now this is our first table, that's a parent table. Now I will create child table. So let's create child table. So I will go to the same module, maybe this tables, and this time I will select ACL YouTube demo child. That's my another table. So I will click on new, and here I will select ACL YouTube demo child. Now how exactly I will make this table which I'm going to create child of the previous table? It's quite simple. I just need to select extends table, and if I will select ACL, I got this table, I will select that table. Now this table will become the child of this table. That means this table is basically extended from this table. I will go to columns. I can definitely create a new just a column, just one column. Let's say I will just mention description, and that's it. And here I can just mention string. Now one thing you have to remember, when I will create this column and I will create this table, now the columns of parent table, now that's out of the box, that's a feature of ServiceNow platform. Then if I will create a table and I will extend this table, I think this is overall concept of tables like database. So if I have table, I'm extending it from parent table, so the columns of that table will also be shown here. They will not be created, but they will be shown here as well. So I will create the module, and I will just add this module to the self-service, and I will just click on save. So this will create the table, and so you can see we got group title automatically, but these two fields, they are not on this table. They are basically inherited from our parent table. Now one thing you will notice that we also have these 4 ACLs. These are automatically created. for this child table as well. The reason behind it, because we got this with this particular controls, and here we have already selected user role and we have selected this create access control checkbox. That's the reason it created these 4 ACLs automatically. And similar to what we have in parent table, you will also see this new role, this particular role in these ACLs as well. That means the user who will have this role will be able to access the records in child table as well. Now the third thing I will do, I will create new user, which way basically we will impersonate and we will see different kind of access for that particular user, so that you understand how exactly ACL works with the live effect. So whenever you change any ACL, whenever you create any ACL, what kind of access you restrict or what kind of access you provide to the user by changing those ACL configurations. So let's create a new user first. So I will just go to sys user dot list. So I will create a new user, and new user would be, I think you can select any user you want. So here I will do ACL dot demo. That's a user ID. So I will put ACL demo, and I will just click on save. So this will create the user, and what I will do, I will open the same instance in my another browser as well. And overall I have already opened it. So if you will see, this is my Chrome browser, and this is my Safari browser. Now in order to show you the difference, I will just change the theme of this particular view. So maybe I will change it to maybe I will change it for the user. So I will impersonate that user first. That's a ACL demo. So let me impersonate that user. So we got this ACL demo, and now I will change the theme. And here I have this theme. So user definitely can select the theme, and let's change it to maybe this one. So I'm done. So now at least you can see the difference. So this is basically this screen, this theme is for the user whom we want to impersonate and see the access for these tables. And this one with admin access, where I will do some changes and create ACLs. So overall we have created 3 things. We have created 2 tables. We have created users as well. Now what we will do, we will see and what kind of ACLs we have and how exactly they work. So starting with the parent record maybe. So here you can see, I think we can talk about both. So here you can see we have ACL YouTube demo child. So this will show you the records of child table, and here it will show you the records of parent table. Now like we have fields, the similar to fields, if you will create new records in parent table, you will definitely be able to you will not be able to see in child table, but it's a vice versa. If you will create records in child table, you will be able to see in parent table. So what I will do, I will quickly create a new records. So here we have a description, so it's just test1. I will submit this, and I think maybe I can select group here, and these fields are basically from parent 1. So I will select network, and here I can select just title 1. I can select title 1. That's it. And I will create one more record. So I will click on new, and here I will just mention test2, submit, and here I can select a different group maybe. So I have application development, and here I can select title 2. So we have 2 records in child table, and then I will go to parent 1. Now you can see that I created 2 records in child table. I can definitely see them in parent view as well. So because child table is inherited from, extended from this parent table. So I will create a new record in parent table. Here I can select, let's say, group here, and I can just mention title 1. I will submit this, I will create one more. I will select any other group this time, network cab managers maybe, and I will mention here title 2, and I will submit this. Total we have 4 records, 2 in child, 2 in parent. If I will click here, I can only see 2 records here and 4 records here, 2 from main table, that's parent table, and like own table, and 2 from child table as well. Now if I will go here, so here we have impersonated that user, and you can see the difference that as of now here I have this ACL YouTube demo child module, and here for parent table module, because we created them, but this user cannot see that module. Even if I refresh it, I cannot see those modules. What is the reason behind it? Now the reason is, whenever you create a new role and when you create the module for a particular table, it automatically adds, when it creates the module, it automatically adds that role. That means user will only be able to access the records or the module if user will have that role. But what about the records? Let's say these are the modules, but what about the records? Will this user be able to access the records we have in these tables? Let's see that. So what I will do, I will quickly copy the name of the table here, and I will just mention here, and I will type .list. Let's see. You can see it says security constraints. That means this user does not have that role, and that's the reason this user cannot access the records of parent table. What about child? If I do underscore child dot list, if I do that, again same message. This user cannot access child as well, because even for child it needs that particular role for child table. Now what we will do, we will basically add one of the role. So let's do one thing. Let's go to the user. Maybe I think I can just quickly go to the user. So we have sys underscore user dot list. Now I will just open the list of users, and we got ACL. So we have this ACL demo. So this is the user. What I will do, I will add basically one of the role. Let's add for child table first. So if I will do that, let's type ACL. I think I can just type ACL. Here we have I think this is for parent and this is for child. So I will add it for child first, because I want to show you the difference, that how exactly user can access. So here I have added the role, and now if I refresh the window for this user, you will see the difference. You can see I still cannot access. Now sometime you might get this kind of issue. Now this happens just because of cache. So what you can do, maybe you can just unimpersonate and impersonate the same user again. That is what you can try. I think, yep, you can see that this time I can. So it's all about the cache. So for that session, maybe for cache, because cache was stored, that's the reason user was not able to access the new module, basically the change which we did, and that basically happens most of the time for these ACLs. So always try to, maybe sometime you might need to log out as well. So maybe just close the browser and reopen the session. So in that case, you can see now this time this user can access child table module, and even the records. Records are accessible. So if I open this, open record here, now I can also edit these fields because I have that access. Now what about the fields which are inherited from parent table? So if I go back, you can see we have group and title, and if I just, yes, I can still edit it. Even they are inherited, I can still edit. The reason this table is not basically restricting the access, because I have that role, and I can definitely have write access as well, and I have create access because I can see a new button here, and I also have delete access. I can show you that as well. If I open this, yes, I can see delete buttons. I can also delete the record. Overall, I have basically access to all the operations. The reason behind it, because I have that role. Now what I can do, I can let's disable the ACLs of child table and see the difference. So what I will do, I will come over here and maybe I will quickly go to the ACLs of child table. So for that, I will just go to configure security rules. So we have these ACLs, table level ACLs. Now why we have, if you will go to security rules, why we have multiple ACLs? Because if you remember, we already talked about it, that overall you have three types of ACLs. Like you have table level, the actual table level ACL, the actual table ACL, then you have parent table ACL, and then you have all table ACL, that is a star one. So that's the reason you will always see a star table ACLs as well, at the same time parent table and table level ACLs. So here we have these 4 ACLs for read, create, write, and delete. What I will do, I will quickly deactivate one. So I will deactivate read one. So that means there are no roles. What will happen? And let's basically maybe deactivate this one as well. We want to see the effect, that what exactly will happen after deactivating all these ACLs. Now this means there are no ACLs available for child table. Now at the same time, what we will do, I think I can just quickly do one thing. I will just remove this rule. Now, if I will remove this role, what kind of access this user will have? Let's see that. So I have removed the role. However, at the same time, I have also disabled the ACL. That means child table does not have any ACL. So I will go to the user now. Here I definitely have access. Maybe I will end impersonation and I will re-impersonate the same user. So I will impersonate here, click on ACL demo, and you can see now I cannot access the module, because in order to access the module, I need that role. I don't have that role, but can I access the records? Because there are no ACLs in the parent, in the child table now. Can I access the records? The answer is no. So let me show you that. So the thing is, I will just copy the table name and I will put it here and I will type .list. You can see I cannot access the records. And if you remember, we talked about the same scenario in our previous video, the first video. That's how ACL execution, ACL permission execution works. The thing is, system did not find child table ACL. That means the main table which user is trying to access. But then user will try to find whether the same table has any parent table and that parent table has any ACL, and we already have active parent table ACLs where you should have another role that is related to parent table. And that's the reason this user does not have that role, not even a single role. And this user will not be able to access the records. How this user can access the records? Let's say even without that role, you can still do it. So I will go to the system. We will do it for read first, and then we will go one by one. So we will start with read. Maybe I will just close all these tabs. So I will start with this read one for child table ACL. And this is table.none again. What I will do, I will just remove this requires rule. What exactly we are doing? So I am giving the access now and there's no permission mentioned. That means even user does not have a single role. That means the same role, he will be able to access the records. Is it? Yes. So let me save this. I think I forgot to make it active. So I have to make it active. Now what will happen? System will check for the ACL and you will see that it is going to mask parent table ACL. you can see that message. And if I want to continue, I can just click on continue. Now this way it will mask parent table ACL and it will provide the access as per the permission mentioned in these three sections. As of now, no value is mentioned in these three sections. So if I will go to the user now, and if I will refresh this, yeah, you can see the difference. I cannot access the module. The reason behind it, in order to access the module, you should have that role, but in order to access the rackets, you don't need any role, because that's the reason, that's how we created the ACL. So we have that ACL enabled, and we have removed that role as well. So any user, even he doesn't have that same role or any role, especially that role which is assigned to that table, user can still access the records of the table. And if I try to edit, now you can see one difference, and I think that's the reason I wanted to show you. So I can definitely read the records. So as of now, we were talking about read. Now what about write? Initially, if you remember, we were able to edit the records as well. That means I was able to edit with this user. I was able to edit description field, even this field as well. But here I cannot edit. And the reason behind it, for write operation, basically parent table ACL is still applied, because on child table, write ACL is still deactivated. Yes. You can see it is still deactivated. That's the reason user is not able to edit these records. Now, in order to provide access, so if you, before I show you that, I just want to mention that same statement I use. In order to provide access, user should pass at least one ACL. If user will pass it, then definitely user will have access. Moreover, this also applies for multiple ACLs created on the same object. That's how you can create different types of ACLs. So in this case, we are talking about write operation now. So what I will do, I will just open this write one first. But there is still one difference which I have not shown you, but I will just show you after this write operation ACL. So I will active this ACL, and I will activate this ACL. Then I will remove this role as well. This way, the same user, because he doesn't have that role, he will still be able to write the records. Now it is masking. I will click on continue, and this is saved. And this time I will reload it, so I can access the records absolutely. And if I will double click, absolutely, you can see I can edit these records, I can edit these fields without any issue. So this time this is for create. But if you remember, we were able to see a create button here. At the same time, let me open this record, and we were able to see delete as well. But now you can see I cannot access, I cannot delete this record, I cannot create new records as well. What is the reason behind it? Because let me go here, and here we have create and delete ACL are still deactivated. They are not active yet. And because we don't have create and delete ACL, it is looking for parent table ACL, and we do have not delete and create ACL on parent table. That's the reason the user is not able to create new record and delete the record. But in order to provide access, again, I can just maybe not this one. I have to just open these two. Which one? Like create one. I will just activate this. At the same time, I will also remove the role, and I will save this, and here as well, this masking. And for delete operation as well, I will activate this, I will remove the role, and I will save this. This is also masking and activating. So both are activated without role, and I will go to this user now, And if I reload the screen, you will see the difference. Here now I have this new button enabled automatically because of ACL, so I can create new record. At the same time, if I open the record, you can see I have full right to delete this record as well. But I was not able to do that before because ACL was restricting it. These are all table level ACLs, which give access to the users for these different operations for table. Now, what about fields? Because as you must have seen that as of now, I was able to edit all the fields. But what about field level ACLs, where I want to restrict user to edit the fields, maybe few fields of any particular table. So we will try to see that with parent table now. So I will just go here, and so as you know that for parent for field level ACLs, they're not basically created automatically. You definitely have to create yourself. That those are, you can say that those are custom ACLs you have to create. Then only you can restrict or provide access to the users. So if I talk about the tables fields like group and title, here we have this title, and here we have, I think we have different titles, and we have this group as well. Let's say for example I want to provide access to edit this field only to few users, maybe the users who have that child table role only. Then only users should be able to edit the records, else not. So what I will do, let me just do one thing. I will quickly assign basically parent table role as well. So let me do that to the same user, sys underscore user dot list. I have this ACL demo. So here I will assign parent table ACL. So I will just mention ACL. We have this parent table ACL. I will click on save. And if I go to the user, I will reload it. Now I will be able to see parent table module. I cannot, that's fine. I just have to re-impersonate. Now this is happening because of cache. I will impersonate the user again. And yeah, we can see here. So we have this ACL YouTube demos. And if I click on this, I can access child records as well. I can access parent table records as well. So we have all those 4 records, and here I can edit as well. You can see I can edit these records. Yep, I can edit the records without any issue. But as I mentioned, I want to restrict that access for this title field. The user will if user will have that child table role, then only user should be able to edit this field. Now for that I need to create a field level ACL. How exactly I will do that? So let me go to the main instance here, and here I will go to configure security rules. So I will create a new ACL, and that ACL will be field level ACL. You have to keep selecting this type as record operation, right? And here you have to select the table. So you have this ACL YouTube demo. Now here you will select the table on which you want to restrict access. So I will select this title, and here I will select the requires role, and that will be ACL, this child one, and I will save this. Yep, it is showing adding. You can see this field level ACL. I will click on continue. Now the thing is, now this user has this parent table role, parent table ACL role, but this user does not have child table role. That's the reason it can access records of parent table. But let's see if he's able to edit these fields. So if I maybe reload it, and if let's maybe open any record. If I do that, I can only see this description. Maybe I will open this one. Yes, you can see here that I can edit this group field, but I cannot edit this title field anymore. Let's see in the list as well, so that you can understand, because we tried to edit these fields from list view, and you can see it says security prevents writing to this field. Which security prevents? Because we have enforced the security that, hey, this user can only edit this field if he will have that child table role. Let's add that child table role and see the difference. So this time I have this user, and I will edit here, and I will add that role. That's our child table role. I will click on save, and I will come here, I will reload it, and you will see the difference now. And if I open this one, I think it's still happening because of cache. That's fine. I will end this impersonation. I will impersonate user now, and now I can access child table as well. But overall, we will see this one. And if I, let's say, double click on this, absolutely, you can see that I can edit the field as well. That's how you can create field level ACLs. So this is how you can create different types of ACLs in ServiceNow platform as per your requirement from your customers and clients. Please provide your comments for any question or feedback, and if you think I'm able to change your learning experience in ServiceNow, then do not forget to like and share the video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.